With every passing day, conversations are becoming more and more complex. At Intricate Conversations with Swaps, we make complex conversations simple. I'm your host, Swapnesh Sebastian. Welcome to the show. Thank you so much for joining us today.
We strive to bring in the best speakers and then endeavor to get the best from them to deliver an unforgettable experience. With a sense of reflection, authenticity, and humor, the show delivers an enhanced viewer experience with timely audience engagement. We focus on the themes of business and innovation, health and lifestyle, and future and success. At Intricate Conversations, we aspire to take you on a journey, and this is metaphorically displayed as IC with Swaps. To know more and get regular updates, follow us on Facebook, YouTube, Insta, and on the web. After all, we make complex conversations simple.
The Northeast monsoon is here, and there is one man a lot of people look up to for weather updates. Yes, it is TN weatherman Pradeep John, or PJ. With some of the most accurate predictions, like the 2015 Chennai floods, he has served society with utmost passion. PJ has over 800,000 followers on Facebook and Twitter, and most of his posts become viral. All this is attributed to his perseverance and commitment towards the cause, helping people with simple and relatable weather updates. So much so that many claim PJ is a part of their family. So how does PJ make complex weather conversations simple? On the 9th episode of Intricate Conversations with Swaps, let us explore how private weather blogger Pradeep John has been able to inspire the world with his passion. Hi, good evening everyone. Thank you so much for joining us for the 9th episode of Intricate Conversations with Swaps. I'm your host, Swapnesh Sebastian. To know more about our show, you can visit the website www.icwithswaps.com. Thank you so much for joining us, and it's great to join you guys live after a very, very long time. Now, this is the kind of generation where people spend a lot of time on their hobbies, interests, passions, and so on and so forth, right? And today we have a very special person with us today, with all of us, is Tamil Nadu weatherman Pradeep John, who has spent a lot of energy and time to bring his passion to life. And today we're going to discuss how he was able to inspire the world with his passion. Right? Once again, thank you viewers for joining in. Pradeep John, thank you so much for joining us. I know that you have a very busy schedule, but you've taken time out. Right? Thank you so much, guys. So for more content, you can visit the channel Swapnesh Sebastian, and we also have content on the icwithswaps.com. Now, for the viewers, we have a format where we have 4 sections followed by a Q&A, guys. So stay tuned, keep your comments going in, and request all of you to smash the like button if you haven't done that so far. Right? Also subscribe for regular updates and support us. Thank you so much. Let's move on to the first section of today. Every story has a beginning. In this section, we are looking at PJ's early years and the spark for his interest in weather blogging. We are live on Intricate Conversations with Swaps, episode 9. And PJ, thank you for joining us once again. I feel like I've known you for a very long time, personally, even though this is the first time we're meeting. And you have a very, very interesting name, and it's called Tamil Nadu weatherman. It looks like a lot of people actually look at you as one of their family, right? So what is the story behind this name, Tamil Nadu weatherman or TN weatherman?
right when the blogging was started in 2008, when there were very few bloggers. So we were all blogging at Kia Weather. I think before that there was one more person called Rakesh. I think he's also from Chennai. He had a blog spot called indianweatherman.blogspot.com. And there was one person who I treat as my guru, vagaries of weather. Is based on it's Rajesh Kapadia. He is based in Mumbai. So we are though we are in, used to put about toppers and rainfall. So each other we used to co-author in their respective website blogspot pages. So from the blogspot we moved into the Kia weather era. So I thought, why not put all these things in a? There was already an Indian weatherman. So Rakesh idea gave it's okay. Let's start one blogspot as Tamil Nadu weatherman.blogspot. So after that, I was putting up the interesting rainfall stats, heavy rainfall in that page. If it's still there, Tamil Nadu weatherman.blogspot.com. You can go see historic rainfall toppers, very rare rainfall, heavy rainfall places in South India. So crucial, right from previous research reports are taken up 100 years ago.
Yeah.
So such kind was the start. So the name because was just accidental, and the inspiration was Indian weatherman.blogspot to Mr. Rakesh.
Sometimes when we look at famous people, celebrities, we forget that they also had a childhood and they had the growing years. Leaving aside the weather blogging aspect, how was your childhood and schooling, college been like? I mean, we want to know a little bit more about you.
See, everyone have their own passion or seeing something, it makes them forget something. So even when if you're writing for exam, for me, whenever it rains, I don't care whether tomorrow there is an exam or not. So such was my childhood, and I studied in SBOA. And in SBOA, I think there are 3 or 4 floors, if I'm right. So in the 10th, 9th, 10th, 8th and all in the top 3 floors. So I can see the cloud movements. It's a little bit high-rise building, so we can see the clouds and skies from there. So then the clouds coming in, we can see the rainfall which is going to start in next 5 minutes, 10 minutes. So this was in 93 to 97, that period. So in SBO school. So where I used to see this water drop falling and then the splashes. Okay, if the splash was very big, then I will say it's high intensity rains. So there was no automatic rain gauges in those days,
Right.
in 90s. So that was the primitive start. And also the Hindu newspaper played a huge role. I think there will be an MSLP chart. There will be a satellite image. Nearby that there will be putting a surface pressure chart.
Right.
So we can see 1 isobar means low pressure, 2 isobar depression, 3 isobars means it is a cyclonic storm. So there were no names those days. Prior to 2004, we used to name. There was no name for cyclone also. So these were the primitive ways. And then once the internet era was there, so we started, as I said earlier, in 2007-8, we started this blogging. So we were the Kia Weather was there, and think Indian Weatherman and vagaries. So we all were there before were there in the start of I think 2007 or 8 period.
So let me take you back to 1996. You've spoken a lot about this year 1996, and I recollect that when I was a kid and going to school, it was about the first 10 days after the school reopened, and there was a particular day when it started raining so heavily that my dad decided not to send me to school. And it continued raining so heavily that day that my sister was also coming back from an outstation city. It was a nightmare to get home. And we had 2 days or 3 days holidays after that, if I recollect correct. And I think that particular year had several heavy spells of rain.
Yes.
And you've spoken about how it was important for you. So can you tell us something about the year 1996 from your perspective?
So it's a very unique year. I think we often wait for northeast monsoon for these floods, and very rarely we see floods in southwest monsoon. That is, we are in the leeward side. So Chennai doesn't get floods in the month of June or September or August. So it's very rare. So there was a freak cyclonic storm which moved. It's not high wind incentive cyclone. It's a rain-filled cyclone which moved towards the North Tamil Nadu and South Andhra coast. So in 3 days, I think we got close to 700 millimeters of rainfall. There was one 350 event, then 194, I think 3. So totally it comes to around 697.2 in 72 hours period, which is phenomenal considering that in the June, the average rainfall is only 55 millimeters, 50 millimeters you can take. So almost 10 times or 12 times of the rainfall have fallen that June month. And the start period, it happened around June 13, 14 and 15.
Yeah.
So as you rightly said, the schools normally starts around June 5. So it was a prolonged, such was the rainfall. I have the hourly rainfall chart for that event. The hourly rainfall shows that there was not even a single hour which went without the rain.
Right.
So almost 700 millimeters. I think if that was to happen today in a city like us now, so 2015 happened, but still that event continuous rainfall for almost 3 days.
Yeah.
I think it will be catastrophic. Such was the rainfall. Almost I think we got leave for around 10 days, continuous days. So we were more lucky than this generation kids in the month of June itself. I don't think even after 1000 or 2000 years, such kind of event is going to happen in June for Chennai. It's going to be, it's a very, very, very rare event. So it's always in a special memory, and the power was cut. So we had a bar. I lived in the same flats which I'm still living. So we can see that water dropping because nothing else there is do. The TV was off. Nothing. We can read the same Hindu newspaper again and again and again, but still the drops falling again continuously for 3 days. So that had a very phenomenal effect in loving the drains. The water, particularly the water dropping, falling, and splashing the ground.
You know, we couldn't have had you at a better time, November season, and you're kind of really busy. Now, this event in 1996, was this the real spark for you to, follow your passion of weather blogging, or was there something else prior to that where you started following this weather?
No, there was a cyclonic storm in 1994. See, right from maybe second standard, third standard, when I was studying in the EWAT school and Leo school also, the rain was always brought me joy. But however, this 1994 cyclone which crossed, I think many of them are aware of this Varda cyclone. Similarly, we had in 1994. So that sounds and other things which made an impact. Subsequently, the rains. But after that 1996, I started collecting the rainfall data. So that year diary, I think, started writing diary in 1996. So 1995-96, that time the rainfall amount which has been stored, not only in Chennai, the South India. So I started learning I think I was in 7th or 8th, which place gets highest rainfall, like Shirali, Agumbe, in Tamil Nadu, Valpare. So the Indo, they used to tablet daily rainfall, seasonal rainfall. So Chennai was getting 1000 mm rainfall, and these places were getting 4000, 5000. So it started me, why 5000? So then only I thought, okay, the southwest monsoon, they get huge amount of rainfall. We fall in the leeward rainfall region. So what is a cyclone? Why? How they predict these rains? This chart, how they are moving, and then the updates. Every one hour, I see the BBC update or the DD News. But still, they put the same satellite image from the morning till night, and the graphics which they show in that BBC weather. So these small things which I can gather the information of. Weather, we don't know, the internet and Google say that what weather, so there was no Google at all, I think 95, 96. So this was a start. Maybe collecting rainfall data started from that 1996 event.
1996, I think you shared some stats as well on your posts and so on about the year 1996. I mean, there are a lot of viewers here who really want to follow their passion and, make an impact in this world and make something valuable to society and to their family and so on. So from that perspective, how did you know that this whole idea of rain or weather is your genuine spark and it's not the kind of an infatuation that, came and went by? How did you identify that?
You get that feeling when you see that tomorrow there might be exams, your father might have scolded you, your mother might have scolded you. You might have got the first ball duck when you're playing with your fun, but when it rains, you forget everything, okay, and then you can relax. So that thing, everyone, when they do something, like when they do something which they love, watching rains was my passion. So some maybe artists, they can draw for hours and hours and hours, still not got bored and still enjoy what they were doing. So that's how the rain was for me.
Yeah, fabulous. Guys, you're watching live. Pradeep John, TN Weatherman, is with us. With that, we come to the end of the first section, and we thought it's a good opportunity to actually share a fabulous initiative that we covered. It's called the Pole in the Hand Initiative. It was an initiative where, people were able to supply poles to budding and aspiring pole vaulters. And let's watch this quick video to see this particular initiative.
Run, plant, jump. Pole vault. Access to a good set of poles has made a few pole vault aspirants national champions. That's the story we're going to cover today. As a camera is to a cameraman, so is a pole to a pole vaulter. On this show, we're going to explore how an inspired man along with a group of enablers made a pole accessible and affordable to a few athletes in India who have gone on to achieve great deeds. This is Pushparani, one of the many pole vault aspirants who greatly benefited from the Pole in the Hand initiative. The story of a pole vaulter in India is far from fiction. From being mocked on trains and harassed on public transport, a pole vaulter in India faces many hurdles to success. The access to a world-class pole still remains the biggest one. Let's explore how the Pole in the Hand initiative addressed this issue and the impact it made on the small yet significant vaulting community in the south of India.
Fabulous initiative, guys. It's also made progress that the initiative, the people who've been working on this have worked on supplying close to 27 poles right now, and they're trying to ship it, right? So fantastic effort. The whole video, the full video is available on the channel Swapnesh Sebastian. With that, guys, let's move on to section 2, the grind. There's always a grinding phase in a success story. It makes success sweeter than honey. In this section, we're going to explore how PJ was able to grind it out during this part of the process. So welcome back, people. If you're watching live, share the link with everybody possible. Smash the like button and subscribe for further updates. Thank you once again for joining us. And Pradeep, you had a viewing of this initiative, and the process of becoming a pole vaulter is quite complex. There's what we see on the outside is basically just the output. There's a lot of hard work that goes in as well, and so you would have had that process to go through as well to become what you are today from a weather blogging perspective. Now, my question is that doing this wouldn't have been easy. And did you have any degree in the weather forecasting related education, or did you get trained at the Met Department officially? Was there anything like that?
Not such kind of training. The source Wolf. Presently, we can see the weather forecasting is done by numerical weather prediction. So the data is common, whether it is if you have studied something in the met-related field or anything. You cannot compare this to say that only doctors can do operations. That is fine, agreed. But as far as weather field is concerned, you need not be a professional to carry out or say something, because in the end, the outputs which the computers and your numerical model shows, how you interpret is your skill. So it's 50% you take the whatever the model is coming, and then you know the climatology of your place. So when the wind is like this, what kind of rainfall the coastal district will get, what kind of rainfall the interior districts will get. At the same time, when a low pressure moves from Bay of Bengal to Arabian Sea, you would have seen last week, even Coimbatore, Tirupur, they were getting very good rains. Yeah. So the interior, so the wind studying, knowing your wind pattern and the climatology is key. So you do not have, fine if you want to work, fine, but it's not like US or Europe or something. We have 1 or 2 companies, and then there is a government department is there. Yeah. So if you're ready to work in a complex government department, you can choose this passion as a work. But if you want to enjoy, you can be a blogger, and you can enjoy the rains whenever you feel necessary, whenever the right time is required to put a post. You do not put a post daily that there is sun, is going to be sunny, it's going to be sunny, it's going to be sunny. Other than that, you can put a seasonal output. Okay, next month there is going to be rainfall is expected. Yeah. So it can be useful for the farmers. So assuming multiple things, which depending upon how knowledgeable you are, considering the agriculture pattern, at the same time the wind pattern, other things, the climatology of your place and the other places across, not only your place. We have a very variable climate. Some regions get rainfall in the southwest monsoon, Some regions get rainfall only in certain wind pattern. So knowing this will help you a lot. And then, as I said, degree is not a must. You can for this kind of for this sector.
Right. So wow, that you really don't have a formal degree and you're doing such a great job. We really appreciate that. We really appreciate that. And you know, there are a lot of people who are following their passions which don't require a formal education. And sometimes they do get demotivated. So what kept you motivated during all these years? This didn't happen all of a sudden, right? It's been a journey.
See, if you see my Facebook page, I don't think you would have seen now. It's having around it's not for pride I'm saying that.
Yeah.
It might have 8.56 lakh followers.
Yeah.
But if you go right before 2015 and 2014,
Yeah.
there were hardly 400 or 500 people.
Yeah.
And if you see that the entire 2014 year, all the posts,
Yeah.
I don't think even some of the posts for a year, you do not have got a single like also.
Right.
But it's my passion. I want to put something there. So I was, in spite of not being the persons people are not liking or sharing my posts, I continue to post the rainfall data, the toppers, whichever post I like to post. I continued posting that. Even some of the posts, if you see, it will be mostly at 2 o'clock, 3 o'clock or morning 4 o'clock, because I am a working person. I get time, if you are well aware, our time ends around 6:30 and then I have to rush back. Only 1.5 hours drive and then I get drained, maybe sleep a bit and then get up. So when I was a little bit young, 10 years ago, I was able to do all this in a brisk pace up to 2 o'clock, 3 o'clock. Most of the posts will be at midnights and early mornings. So I used to post all this because the pages are dynamic. 10 years ago, the rainfall data were not stored. Yeah. So if you miss today, next day it will be replaced by the next day event. Right. So I have to store them, keep them, then update them. So such was the start. So I was not bothered about whether people are liking or not. But when the real event in December 2015 came, there was a very good connect with the people. There are 4 or 5 big events which happened in that November 2015. Yeah. And each event gave me a lesson. What needs to be put in a social media, what the timing, not too early, not too late, and then not too many posts. So a lot of learnings were there in that post, and particularly the trust. I think November 23 event, I think that was raining in the South Chennai crazily, and there was around 7 to 8 hour traffic jam, crazy traffic. It was November 23, November 23, 2015, before the big floods. There was before the December 1st event. So I think I left my office around posting that around 8 o'clock or 9 o'clock. Yeah. I reached around 1 a.m. or 2 a.m. From that Adayar to Ananagar. If I opened my box after reaching there, and when I opened my page, there was people, sir, have you reached? Did you have your dinner? So the connect with the people was made at that time. Fabulous. And then the big event happened. So that I know people started trusting. Because previously there was not much of the bloggers giving live update in 2015 and all. There were 2 or 3. There was Sri from, who was a close friend of mine from Chennai over Malayalam. And then Kia Weather was there. And then 2 or 3 persons were there. So Rakesh was there, Weather of India. He was in Twitter, I think in Facebook he was Weather of India. So 4 or 5 persons only were there in that time in 2015 giving updates during the floods.
Fabulous. So looks like your journey had an interesting mix of ups and downs, and you stayed motivated in both. Yes. And it's a reflection of the fact that you're genuinely passionate about it.
See, when you are passionate, you don't worry about whether you're putting your rainfall data or rain update at 1 o'clock or 2 o'clock. You will keep, unless you put that final update, you will be keeping, you will not be bothered what is the time or whether it is 1 o'clock, 2 o'clock. Yeah. So when you follow your passion, I think it will, 99, not 99, 1000% it will lead into success, because you will put your best effort into it, rather than being forced and doing something which you don't like, the kind of going to office and then coming back at 5 o'clock. At certain period, you will be getting completely bored out of it.
So people, there's a message out there for us that during the grind, you just have to stick to your passion. And we're going to watch a quick video of a very successful professor who has remained passionate about his subject all throughout his career. And he retired last year, and this is a quick video to show that success is a mixture of events, and you just need to stay true to your passion. Inspiring, motivating, loving are some of the descriptions by the students.
gold medalist from Punjab University, more than 40 years of teaching and research experience, with over 245 papers published. A person who has contributed maximum to the growth of Naipa Mohali as a globally recognized brand. Who is this legendary personality? Professor Saranjit Singh. As he approaches his retirement, let's visit his impressive life story.
So you're watching live. We have finished 2 sections, guys. If you're still watching live, I request you to share and like this video and subscribe to the channel. With that, we come to the end of section 2, which was the grind and how you stay passionate even during the time of the grind. So now let's move on to section 3. Movement faces friction, progress faces hurdles. Let's explore how PJ deals with challenges. We are live with TN weatherman Pradeep John. Thank you so much once again for joining us. You spoke about 2015. I mean, even before we got to the scaling phase, you spoke about the year 2015 and how it made a tremendous impact in you scaling up and reaching out to more people. And December 2nd, is that right?
December 1st. First was the rain and it ended in December 2nd morning.
December 2nd morning. So that spell, I mean, can you just tell us what were the lead-up events for you? Like what happened? What did you see? What was it that was happening at your end before that event happened, and how did it turn out?
I think many of the bloggers picked that event, and particularly we were expecting rains that between that November 30th and December 2nd there was going to be because the numerical models are picking up a very large event. So we expected it to happen in November 30th. I think November 30th, Kadalur, I think got around 180 to 200 millimeters of rainfall. I think it was Sunday. And then slowly the clouds started moving up. And people were saying, because that was start of this weather blogging in the social media. So people were saying, where is the heavy rain which you said on 30th? There is no heavy rains. I just said, see, this rainfall doesn't start on the time which you expect. There will be always a shift. If it is 6 hours or 12 hours, there will be a shift. But what is to happen will happen. Maybe if a 200 millimeters of rainfall is predicted, it may happen in 1 day or spread over 2 or 3 days. So this is how the reality happens. We don't know. It might have also turned into a 300 millimeters or 400 millimeters, like what happened in Sirkali a few days ago.
Yeah.
So particularly that morning, we saw that the clouds were completely shifting from the Kadalur, and it was sustaining a lot. Normally after 8 o'clock, 9 o'clock, the bands will start to weaken unless there is a cyclonic storm or a complete low pressure. The December 15th, it was just a trough of flow. It was a grade below the low pressure itself. But unfortunately, the band started moving up. I think my morning post was, I rarely don't post this. Only twice I have done it, only for Cyclone Varda and December 1st day. My post was, don't go to office. The D-Day, I think the D-Day which we have awaited has arrived. Don't go to office, particularly if you are in South Chennai, ECR, these belt and all, don't go to office. That was, I don't put explicitly like that, but that day morning I said, don't go. I think by 11 o'clock, when I went, after putting all these things, I was completely late to the office. I went via T Nagar, all this. I think by 11 o'clock, 2 o'clock, it's more than 100 and 150 mm have fallen. In Tambram kind of areas, it was even more. The rainfall was even more because it started around 6:30, 7:30 am itself. Yeah. Slowly, the cloud mass from Kadalur shifted entirely, completely towards Chennai. The clouds are coming, but it is not weakening. But at the same time, it's not going beyond certain 50, 60 kilometers from Chennai. So it was completely that entire Chennai and the surrounding areas like Tambram, other belts. By 2 o'clock, Chambrambakam rainfall was around 200 millimeters. So by 2:30 p.m., the automatic rain gauge of IMD was saying that there's 200 millimeters rainfall. So 5-6 hours, we have already got 200 millimeters of rainfall. And the rain band doesn't show that. So I tell my office MD and my other colleagues, if you don't start today, we can't go home, because it was very rare to see that kind of radar image and then say radar image you use it for nowcasting. So my style will be, previously I will tell the rain event is going to happen, and then whenever rain happens I nowcast it. So that is the pattern which I follow. So when I nowcasted it and said, no, the bands are not fizzling out, something special, I don't know whether it is next 1 hour, 2 hours, 3 hours, 4 or 5 hours, next 10 hours, when there is going to be so by the time I started, we shut down the office. Everyone came out around 2 o'clock and 2:30 p.m. and then we started home. I think I reached around 7 o'clock or 8 o'clock that December 1st night. Completely flooded. I think people were, those who don't know to drive in the completely flooded roads, they were stuck behind the other vehicles. Some were floating.
Yeah.
I said to them, no, don't stay in the car. I don't think it is going to stop. And those are saying floating in the cars. No, you get out of the car and get to safety. That's what my comment. Whoever I was able to communicate, I said this.
Yeah.
And then by the time I went to 7 o'clock at home, I put a post that only God can save Chennai. That was my post.
Yeah.
So by 7:30 p.m. I said the rains are not, because it is getting intense. And then after 10 o'clock, I thought, okay, the power is going to be all cut off. Everything is going to go off. I was not about the rainfall, only the rainfall. Yeah. And then after 11 o'clock, every message were completely, sir, please help me, my house is falling. So it was completely not the rainfall, other things. So I just wanted to put one update. There will not be no further rains. That was the one update I waited to put. Somehow I kept 2 or 3 mobile chargers, 2 or 3 laptops. There was no inverter in my house. So in case of emergency, I thought I should put that update and then go to sleep. My family went to sleep. I think power was cut, I think around 10 o'clock. And morning 3:30 a.m. I started the clouds giving away. And then I put one update that, okay, there is no more further heavy rains. So from that 6:30 a.m. to next day 3:30 a.m., I think I was completely seeing that one day I didn't do anything else. I don't think, and so unfortunately it was my wedding day also. So I've completely forgotten the next day, second. We all were forgotten seeing something extraordinary has happened. I think it's one event which I think till my end I won't forget what has happened that day. And the post, I think some might be there. The nowcast getting update which I gave almost every half an hour to people whether the rainfall is reducing or not. So that day people wanted only one thing, the rains to stop. So I wanted to put that update and then go to sleep. And then the rest is history.
Fabulous. I think you had very few posts like this post. In fact,
Yes,
you shared it recently,
yes.
that the day that changed my life. And that's really where I think you were able to reach the prominence that you have. But were there any other days or any other events that you felt after 2015? I think you talked about Varda.
Yes, Varda.
Were there any other events where you had?
No, Varda was one special because I wanted to witness that, sorry to say, it's not to see the destruction or uprooting of the trees. So we bloggers, we fancy seeing that, experiencing that, crazy about those winds of 100 kilometers speed. And many of them were not aware of the 1994 cyclone because it crossed in 2 a.m. midnight. Yeah. So it was sleeping time. I think many of them have forgotten that Chennai had a 100 kilometer wind speed cyclone which crossed in 1994. So I wanted to witness such high speeds at least once more. I don't know when, maybe another 10 years or 20 years. I don't know when again I will be witnessing such a high kind of wind speed. So that also I said, even my brother also, I went to exam. I told him not to go and all. I think to the maximum possible, I said the second time was Varda. I think the slow build up was happening. Each post from December 6th, 7th, this cyclone is coming. It might slowly I will build the confidence. Okay, it is for us. If the confidence is not there, I will slowly decline that the hope when giving that there's such kind of event. So once I know that it is going to be coming for us, I slowly build the hype. And then even the day before, people were not believing that there's such a cyclone because hardly there was any rain the previous night. On 11th night, it was completely drizzling something. But the morning from I think 11 a.m. to 12 a.m. completely changed. So that 2 events I think I will not completely forget. So that's what I will say.
Right. Fabulous. Fantastic to look at. If you were to describe your journey from say 94 to 2022 in one word or a couple of words, what would you say?
I will say don't become a weather blogger. If you are a weather blogger, please don't start a page As long as it's fine, because the stress amount is
Okay.
too high to manage. If you see in 4 years, I think 2015 there was not even a single gray hair. The stress is tremendous stress, because you need the, because the expectation is already there.
Yeah.
That the see, I'm not God. If I say rain, it not rain. It is not. I don't control it. I just interpret the charts and I give to the people. Okay, at least in some way, on important days it might be useful for the public. I'm not a God who says that. Okay, I have just put a post that the heavy rainfall is going to happen. Doesn't mean the heavy rainfall has to happen, and people has to understand. Between Madras and Tambaram, we feel that is so huge, but if you take the satellite image and zoom up, it is very small part. So between Kadalur and Chennai itself, it's a small part, very very small range. So that rainfall event might happen in Kadalur or happen in Chennai, somewhere anywhere it can happen. So when we know the possibility, we shift like this. We say that there is a possibility, because we know many times we have tracked the heavy rainfall. Just happened in Chennai might have happened down south little bit, 50 kilometers. The 50 kilometers is not so huge, but for here it is out of the city. Such is the information. So it is very stressful. So we are making the people a little bit weather-wise smart. Why it is raining? Why it is not raining? If you say now the present low pressure, slowly I started giving them why it is not going to intensify. So previously we expected it to become a cyclone, and now why it won't become a cyclone? Because the dry air is fighting it hard and it is trying to enter the core. So when a dry air is powerful, we can call it as mighty.
Yeah.
Even a super cyclone with 300 kilometers wind speed, if a dry air finds a way into the core of the cyclone, it will decimate within 3 to 4 hours. So such is the powerful of the impact dry air has. So it will completely cut off the moisture supply to the for the cyclone. So these things we try to put in image and show them people what is really happening, instead of telling. I know my department says that there is going to be rain today. There is going to be orange alert issued today with the government. But going little bit beyond to connect with the people, when you put a chart and show them what is the reason behind the rains, why the cyclone will not intensify, people started to learn. So there was no one in my 90s to teach all these things.
Right.
There were my department will come in the press and say our announcement in rodeo, we will say that's all. No one used to explain us with the charts why it is going to happen, why not is not going to happen, why the rains missed us, or the whether the rains have shifted, why it is weakening. So all these things we try to connect with the people and then explain it. But I will suggest you not to become a weather blogger. You can be the weather blogger, but don't start a page and for the live. It might be good in the start. You will feel good. Okay. Then as you go beyond at a point, why should I update at some point? Or should I update? What will these people ask the questions? Why there is no heavy rain? So such kind of questions, it's huge pressure. And when you age, when it's 20, 25, it's fine. When you cross 40, I think it's very, very difficult to balance work, family, and then your passion. It's begin. But it's still good. But the balancing, it should be a right balance. Unless if you side somewhere else, I think the other two will be completely lost. So the perfect balance should be perfectly made.
Fantastic advice from Pradeep John. Although it sounds like you're maybe demotivating some weather bloggers.
No, I'm not demotivating.
Right.
Don't, as I said, see, when I started my page, I didn't do it for my likes or share.
Right. Yeah.
Don't see, now you see, I'm not demoting any youngsters. It's fine. If you take Chennai or Tamil Nadu, we have the most number of bloggers in the entire world.
Wow.
The entire world.
Weather
bloggers.
Right.
They were crazy. The pages, number of pages, everyone is crazy, fine. But it doesn't mean immediately you need to give an alert to the public.
Yeah.
Start a page and give alert to the public. It doesn't mean you start enjoy blogging. Then there will be a time will come where, okay, I can handle whatever is there. So that can be made. So that's what I say. Maybe in your teenage, from your college days, it will look nice. Once you get married, once you go to job, can you continue it? Can you sustain the passion which you have? It is going to be very challenging, to be honest, I say.
All right. Thank you, Pradeep, for those wonderful thoughts from your end, practical tips as well. You actually have given us an introduction to the next section where we're going to talk about the challenges.
Hopefully it's the final session and you let me. There is a chicken stew waiting at my home.
All right. Okay. Let's do that. Let's move on to the next section. But before that, let me just share some information to you about if you're facing challenges in life and you want to keep up with all the stresses of life. There's something called as equilibrium thinking, promoted by the former Director General of Police, Dr. Pradeep V. Philip. And the full episode is available on Intricate Conversations with Swaps. With that, let's move on to the next section. Movement faces friction, progress faces hurdles. Let's explore how PJ deals with challenges. Hi there, we are live with Pradeep John and we are discussing some really intense matters. Pradeep, I've just changed the format for the next section because you've answered some of the questions here. You know, we'll start off with asking questions where you just give me a yes or no, and then you can choose one question that you want to expand on, and I will choose one, and let's see if the audience also can choose one for that to expand on that, right? First question, in your weather blocking journey, did you ever come close to quitting?
I think last 2 years, to be honest, I'm not enjoying as I used to enjoy the posts and read and comments. Maybe I'm trying now to get back that feel, maybe making a little bit connect with the people. Maybe many times in the last 2 years, why should I do this? Why should I continue this? Even the web hosting space, the way there is a website that it costs around 12,000 per month. Then I should say, why should I, without knowing my wife, somehow I wanted to store some data there so that in case someone, the social media, someday the Facebook might be closed, all the data which has been stored there might have lost. So all these needs to be stored somewhere in a website or something, maybe that was start. So I've given a thought on all those things. Even the subscriptions, I think it costed around last 3 years around 25,000 per year. So why should we spend all these things? Why should I do all those things? That was a thought. And then in 2020, there was a lot of hate and abuse, which I felt I should not have done. What did I do to get all these things? I think there was one person who said that I should be beaten to death. So such kind of weight speeches. So it completely, not me. I think the family was little bit, you should stop doing all these things. You should give up, and you should. When you are in trouble, nobody is going to come and help you. This is the truth. This is the world. This is how the world works. You are because a lot of troubles, and then a lot of interference in my office life. Also some freak letters and other things, which to a certain point. I thought, why do people? I'm just putting an update on the rain. I mind myself. I don't complain about. I used to previously about the official agency also. See, if there is no, you are here before there is no current. You ask the EB department why there is no current.
Yeah.
The roads if your roads are poor, you ask your corporation, please repair my roads. And the water, if there is no water, you ask your Metro Water Board why there is no water. So in that mentality, I said, okay, because I had a lot of things in mind. This is how certain things can be given so that people can. It will be the weather updates will be much useful to the public. So sometimes when we know that official departments makes up things, so we get irritated. With some post might come, but that too last few years I stopped reacting to all those things. I come and post. Maybe somewhere even yesterday, day before yesterday, I get little bit triggered, but then I think after 2 minutes I'll think it's not sorry. Whatever, let him put whatever bad about me. I think. Yesterday, one person in Shivram, he has posted whether this Tamil Nadu weatherman is dead or alive, whether செத்துட்டானா உயிரோட இருக்கானா அவன். See the kind of words. அவன் செத்துட்டானான்றதுக்கு ஒரு smiley. They have put whether he is dead means he has put smiley. So such kind of hate, I don't think I don't deserve such kind of hate. I have stick my page very professionally, only related to weather. I don't go, maybe 1 or 2 posts I previously, and then I learned a lesson. Okay, let's not go into this. Just post weather. I don't go into politics. I don't go into the religious affairs. Maybe my name is there, Pradeep John or something. But I don't think anything. I have not even posted a single thing about anything to say about other things or other things. Maybe in Corona time I have posted only that in my religion itself. I posted don't give offerings to church. Instead, there are many people who are here daily workers. You can share the money. Even that I got many opposition from that side. Still, I think whatever is done, I know how the world works. Let us put, whenever during the monsoon, I think people after January, February, they're totally I know that's how the world works.
Yeah.
So at least in October, November, let us, whatever I post must be useful to public. I continue like that, but at many points in the last 2 years, I thought I should give up. Maybe a right person comes, I should hand over this page, let him update the weather. So maybe down the course, I think my health, my acidity, the stress is one of the reason for my acidity reflex also. So it has gone very bad. I have to take tablets to stop the acidity reflex. So many times I have thought, but still maybe that joy, maybe the last few days I'm enjoying posting, connecting. So maybe the original, the enjoyment is still coming back in this monsoon. So hopefully everything goes well, no one troubles me.
We wish you well, PJ, and you answered all the other questions I had.
So I can go home now. You are closing.
You
Thank
answered
you
all
all.
the questions in this section. You talked about family. You talked about how emotionally draining some of these not so friendly posts could be, and the feeling of why are people doing this, and why do I really deserve this kind of feeling? I mean, that's. But I think what you've done is you've stayed true to your passion. I think that's what's given you the strength to sustain in the midst of all these problems, right?
Yes.
So those are the challenges, and those are the saboteurs that come and really make that success journey challenging for you to continue, right? So guys, you see that behind the scenes, it's not as easy as just posting something. It's a lot of hard work, and once you reach prominence, maybe there are certain challenges that you really have to be ready for. With that, let's move on to the final section,
I think
PJ.
4 is over. No?
Right,
I think you should have closed it by now.
Right, we should have, and we are going to close very soon, PJ. We have a, let's try and see if we have a few questions from the audience.
Yes.
What's the fun without some live questions from the audience? PJ, I have a question here which says, it could sound a little silly, and I've had this question as well. What is the difference between weather and climate?
Suddenly get an answer. See, climate is over a period of time.
Okay.
So when you say the climate of region, you say that Chennai gets monsoon season is October,
Yeah.
December is the rainy season.
Yeah.
So that's the climate of that city. So we get odd days during May month. நம்ம கத்திரி வெயில் சொல்றது. So that climate, the climate of is for a period of long time.
Yeah.
Weather what is the weather right now?
Yeah.
So when that moment, that day, when it's for shorter period, how is Chennai's weather?
Yeah.
Whether it's hot or cold. When you ask for a particular day,
Yeah.
and that day we can call it as a weather. The climate is for a period of time.
Right. Now, I've heard people say that today climate is very good. Is that actually correct? Or is
You
it
can
the
say
weather?
I think we should ask whether how is the weather the weather is good,
Right.
not the climate. Maybe we can. But so what is there? Understand the person who's answering is going to understand.
Right.
Okay, he's asking about today.
Yeah. All right. Okay, that's the meaning of it, right? We
Yes.
have another question, another viewer who has a question. Let's have a look at the question.
Hi Pradeep, we appreciate the good work you do and we are a big fan of your work. I have 2 questions. Is there an opportunity to see Pradeep in the future as a national or an international weatherman? Second one is that how do you correlate your work with the similar activity that is being carried out at an international arena?
So we have 2 questions there, Pradeep. The first question is
See, everything as I said, once you know here, everything is same. Whether it is Japan weather, American weather, everything, I think we can grasp it very easily what is the pattern and the things. So once you understand the climatology, as I say, the climatology is key. நம்ம ஊருக்கு வந்து you don't need an American or Japan come and say there's going to be a flooding rains in Chennai. We know better. We know what is the pattern which is happening much better than this. For them, whatever they show in the computer, they come and show. But for us, we know, we go a little bit in depth. We understand. Sometimes we wait, then putting an update. So we don't tell that, okay, for example, the present, though we expected to become a little bit a marginal segment and the open seas, we know now that the trend is the dry is going to impact. So certain things we will wait what time need to put. So international weathermen are not, I'm fine with wherever I am. I don't want to cross. In fact, that is one of the key things. Your target audience is very, very key. If you go a little bit too wide, and I think now I have understood there is a weatherman in Kerala. There is other places. There are other persons. Each district is having a weatherman in Tamil Nadu. So let them contribute whatever. I think they are all doing very good jobs, and let them contribute. I can need not maybe very a critical day or something. I just update about other things, but mainly I maintain it to the city and Tamil Nadu particularly in heavy rainfall events, but mostly city and other surroundings is the target audience group. So I don't want to become international or a weatherman or not, but you can update it if you are completely free, and if you are giving up all the other things, I think I can concentrate and put weather updates across the world also. The second one, to be honest, we have now whatever experience which I have in weather, I tried to brought it as a project for the state and the people also. There is a Chennai real-time flood forecasting project, so that we have developed on behalf of the state, and we can see this the forecast. I think Chennai city officials, to be honest, I will say they are the weather-wise most smart in the country. I'm not saying just because I'm from Chennai, because they understand slowly. They know what the model, how the model works, how the rain works, so what to expect. I think this current batch of officials are very, very understanding of the patterns which is happening. So whatever is there from my passion, I have a little bit transferred. Maybe whenever I have to bring such kind of projects and develop and put to public use. So that I think slowly behind the back some things may not be known, but I am doing my part so that maybe the future rains and other things when come, people will be well aware of all these things. But that one project is the real-time flood forecasting forecast. So I have a bit my role played in that too.
Another question, PJ, that's come up is, how does one who's interested in weather forecasting, how do they start? I mean, I know you said maybe it's not the best thing to follow for the future, but if somebody is genuinely interested in weather forecasting, where do you think they should start, or what would be a good starting point for them to?
First, you should understand your climatology. That, as you said, the climatology of the place. What is the core area of your interest? For me, it is the rainfall, heavy rainfall places. Among the bloggers also, some are crazy about the clouds. Some are crazy about the hot days. They want the hot days for Chennai to peak. 45 degrees was the one which is recorded in 2003, I think May 31. So some want that to be broken. Others, they are very fancy about cyclones. They will be very crazy only on the cyclone days. So when you take the weather, means that there is a lot of things are there. So what do you really want to learn about it? Whether how the weather is predicted. Some go in depth and become research into. There are persons like Gokul who has quit the job and he went into weather, learning about atmospheric science. If whether you going to take this as a passion into your work, also that needs to be also, because the opportunity is right now very less here, but the scope is very big in outside the country. Maybe down the line, maybe in 10-15 years, we will also be giving much importance. Right now, if you see, I think Chennai, whenever there is a low pressure, that is the headline. So down the line, learn the basics first, basic concepts, the wind flow patterns, what is the wind barb, what is the low pressure. So small things, then usually you can connect the dots. So I have tried my maximum in my post. Will always have I think you can little go beyond. The last 10 years, if you search my post, we will always have a figure which will explain what is the convergence, divergence, so which area the sea breeze. So I try to, wherever I feel that it can be educated, I will try to bring that thought in the image so that someone will get triggered and then learn about it. So learn the basics and know the climatology of your pattern, then I think you can easily.
At Intricate Conversations with Swaps, our very motto is to make complex conversations simple. And PJ, you make weather conversations simple, right? The complex weather patterns, and you just explain how you do it. So guys, if you're watching and not like, please smash the like button. Look at subscribing as well. It's absolutely fantastic. And we have one last question, PJ. One last question. And that's really to do with what's the forecast for the next few days?
There's low pressure there. I think tomorrow is 19th, if I'm right. I think it's going to be a dry day. Maybe Sunday will be slowly the rains will be starting, maybe light to moderate rains. Maybe as we go into Monday, Tuesday, there will, I think 20th to 24th, the coastal areas are likely to get rain right from Delta to Chennai. It's a little bit, since it is remaining weak, it might be the widespread area. Maybe from previously we thought only the Chennai belt were going to get rains. Now maybe a little bit widespread areas, maybe up to Kadalur or up to Delta also might get rains also. We need to see this, how the fight between the dry air is going, the low pressure. If it is going to be completely weakened, some models are showing extreme rains which is happening in the seaside, whether the extreme rains which is happening in the sea, whether it will might shift towards the land or not. So some clarity is required, but tomorrow is going to be completely dry. Maybe from Sunday we can see a little bit the warm. I think it is completely cold now. Last few days you can see the mist and the punny dew also in the morning.
Some romantic posts on the
yes, but I think maybe once the clouds comes in, you know that the clouds trap the heat and you don't get to see this dew. See, these are the basics which I said to understand all these things. From 20th to 24th, there is going to be good rains across the coastal district, but the uncertainty is where there is going to be the heavy rains. So that uncertainty, because that is shifting here and there. So we cannot assuredly say that Chennai is going to get very heavy rains or extreme rain or Kadalur, but there is going to be rains. So from 20th to 24th, there will be rains with gaps in the coastal districts.
So TN Weatherman has spoken and given us an update on the upcoming week, at least for Tamil Nadu, more specifically Chennai.
And it is not over. We are going to have a very, very active December ahead.
Right.
So if Chakram is missed now, I think we will see Chakrams in December.
Yeah.
And December Chakrams always favor the Tamil Nadu.
Right. PJ, thank you so much for taking time out during this really busy season, coming here to our studio and really sharing your life story where people can take those lessons to see how they can inspire the world with their passion. Thank you so much, PJ. It's been a pleasure to host you. All of you, thank you so much for joining us live today. We are Intricate Conversations with Swaps. At Intricate Conversations with Swaps, we make complex conversations simple. I'm your host, Swapnesh Sebastian, business consultant and trainer. To know more about me, just Google or check the website or other platforms. With that, guys, we come to the end and we thank you so much for joining us and see you in the next episode of Intricate Conversations with Swap. Until then, goodbye and have a great week. Thank you so much for joining us. Thank you so much for joining us today. To know more about Intricate Conversations with Swaps, visit our website www.icwithswaps.com and the YouTube channel Swapnesh Sebastian.
With every passing day, conversations are becoming more and more complex. At Intricate Conversations with Swaps, we make complex conversations simple. I'm your host, Swapnesh Sebastian. Welcome to the show. Thank you so much for joining us today.
We strive to bring in the best speakers and then endeavor to get the best from them to deliver an unforgettable experience. With a sense of reflection, authenticity, and humor, the show delivers an enhanced viewer experience with timely audience engagement. We focus on the themes of business and innovation, health and lifestyle, and future and success. At Intricate Conversations, we aspire to take you on a journey, and this is metaphorically displayed as IC with Swaps. To know more and get regular updates, follow us on Facebook, YouTube, Insta, and on the web. After all, we make complex conversations simple.